Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an article and video clip from CNN Politics. It's by Caitlin Collins, Manu Raju, and Kevin Liptak. It was published on February 7th. Now, the title here, Trump's furious after Schiff hires former NSC aides to help oversee his administration. This is complete fake news. They are literally trying to fabricate Trump being furious by taking tweets, which, because when you're talking a written word, you don't necessarily have full context, but they're putting context into it. Yeah, they do that with like this tweet down here for those people who don't watch the video and just go into the article. They're trying to use this tweet as an example of it, but we're going to watch the video first, and then we'll get into the article here. It goes to show that CNN will push whatever they can for propaganda, fake news, and bullshit.
Well, what we've learned is that the House Intelligence Chairman, Adam Schiff, as you noted, has recently hired people who have previous experience working on the National Security Council to join his committee that is overseeing the Trump administration. Now, a committee aide confirmed this to us, but Brooke, they declined to say how recently these people worked on the National Security Council, whether or not they worked under President Trump, and they declined to identify who these individuals are. But Brooke, what we also know...
So they don't, oh, we don't know who they are. We don't know if they work for the Trump administration. We don't know this, we don't know that, but Trump is furious.
Is that clearly this move has enraged President Trump because, as you saw from his tweets this morning, not only talking about what you noted, that recently launched investigation from Adam Schiff that is much broader than people originally imagined, but also this interesting quote from the president on Twitter this morning. He said, quote, "I hear other committee heads will do the same thing, even stealing people who work at the White House." Now, we asked the White...
Hold on. I love how taking something out of context while showing the tweet. And it's a continuation from another one if you look, The Dems and their committees are going nuts. The Republicans never did this to President Obama. There would be no time left to run government. I hear other committee heads will do the same thing, even stealing people who work at the White House. A continuation of a witch hunt. That doesn't sound like he's furious to me. Even stealing people from the White House is like, look at this. They're, to me, the tonality of that, because I'm not some Trump deranged dipshit, is that they're so desperate that they're even stealing people from the White House, hoping it will help them for a continuation of a witch hunt. I mean, that's what it seems like to me.
White House. What did the president mean when he said even stealing people who work at the White House? And essentially, the White House is implying that right now, Adam Schiff has either recently hired or is currently interviewing people who have worked in the Trump administration. We asked about that line of the president's tweet, and an administration official said, ask Adam Schiff what that means. So we did, and a committee aide got back to us with this statement. We're going to put it up on the screen, but they said...
Right. She says committee, and then it says... it's from Schiff itself, but...
And this is from a committee aide on the House Intelligence Committee.
So it's a committee aide, but yet it says Adam Schiff.
We have hired staff for a variety of positions, including the committee's oversight work and its investigation. Although none of our staff has come directly from the White House, we have hired people with prior experience on the National Security Council staff for oversight of the agencies, and will continue to do so at our discretion because we do not discriminate against potential hires on the basis of their prior work experience, including the administration.
I don't know why I found that last part funny. Oh, we're Trump deranged idiots, but we're not going to hold that against you. Sure, Schiff, you're full of it.
So they're declining to say whether or not any administration officials from the Trump administration are currently working on this staff, but clearly we are seeing the White House imply as much. Now, Brooke, it's not unusual for someone who's worked on the NSC to go work on the House Intelligence Committee.
Okay, yes. So they're making this into a big deal, and she's even saying it's not a big deal, it's not normal, out of the norm, this is commonplace, no big deal, but yet we're supposed to believe that, yeah, this is some big fucking like revelation into the whole Russian, investigate Trump bullshit.
It's happened before. Even Devin Nunes hired someone who worked on the Trump administration National Security Council when he was the House Intelligence Committee chairman. But this does raise the concerns that you've heard from the White House ever since Donald Trump first took office, which is that there are people inside these career staffers who work here just.
These career staffers. Ha! You mean the deep state? You can't even bring yourself to say it. The deep state. Deep state. Okay? To be like Ricky's mom from Better Off Dead, I want to just grab you by your cheeks and go, deep state. Shit. You can say it.
Fight whoever is the president that could potentially be going to work on Adam Schiff's committee that is now, as you noted yesterday, launched this huge investigation into the president, not just him, but also his finances and what drives certain national security decisions that he makes. So certainly this is giving some cause for concern back here at the White House right now. But Brooke, we should note we do.
Oh no, they might give like what his reasoning is behind his political decisions and like his decisions towards other nations and shit, his military decisions and stuff like that, geopolitics and that. Hint, hint, Russia. Fucking A. They are really that desperate. Anyway, let's get into the article. House Intelligence Committee Adam Schiff has hired officials with experience at the National Security Council to help with his panel's oversight of President Donald Trump's administration, according to a committee aide. I love these unnamed, people that they always refer to in all their articles with the legacy media, CNN, Washington Post, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, all of them. The aide declined to say how recently the newly hired officials worked at the council, whether they served under Trump or to identify the individuals. But the move appears to have enraged the president and some members of his senior staff who view the move as an intrusion. It comes as Democrats prepared to wield new investigative powers after winning a House majority in 2018, after barely winning it, number one. Number two, you are literally taking the tweet here, which is actually the one in the video, and you're using that as enraged. I love how you idiots put context into a tweet that isn't there. It's so funny. Trump fumed on Twitter Thursday about the recently launched investigation led by the Democratic intelligence chair and suggested he was raiding the White House staff. No, that's not what he did here at all. This tweet does not mean what you're saying. I mean, seriously, the Dems and their committees are going nuts. The Republicans never did this to President Obama. There would be no time left to run government. That's stating a fact. With Benghazi, there should have been an investigation, even in more, with valid cause for it, unlike this Russian bullshit. Seriously. And the idea is the reason why the Democrats are looking to poach these people is they're hoping to gain insider knowledge of legal and, if they hope possible, illegal activities. That's the whole point behind it. That's why they would hire these people. You don't have to be a genius to figure that one out. You could be JoJo the Idiot Circus Boy and have a clue on that note. It's kind of common sense. I hear other committee heads will do the same thing, even stealing people who work at the White House. A continuation of the witch hunt, Trump wrote. Later, the White House implied Schiff, who announced a sweeping investigation into the president and his finance this week, has recently hired or is interviewing officials from the administration to work on his committee that is now investigating the president. Well, see, to me, Schiff is just out of his freaking mind. And he's going to waste all this money on an investigation that's going to go nowhere, like Russia. So what he's hoping is that he can get people on the inside to hopefully use them to get that one little grain of, sand that he can hold up and go, see, proof. Because he figures they'll know where the bodies are buried. That's what it's about. An administration official told reporters to ask Adam Schiff what that means when asked about the president's claim Democrats are stealing people who work at the White House. A House Intelligence Committee aide responded, telling CNN the panel has hired individuals with experience on the NSC staff and that it would not discriminate about hiring individuals from the current administration. Well, of course not. They want people from the current administration. They want to data mine them. They want to use them. So of course they're not going to discriminate. But the aide said no recent hire came directly from the White House. We have hired staff for a variety of positions, including committee's oversight work and its investigation, the aide said. Although none of our staff has come directly from the White House, we have hired people with prior experience in the National Security Council staff for oversight of the agencies and will continue to do so at our discretion. We do not discriminate against potential hires on the basis of their prior work experience, including the administration. I love how they have to throw that in. Oh no, we're not Trump deranged idiots. No, not at all. Because that's what that amounts to. No. Look at our lipstick. Ignore our actions. Read our lips. Schiff's office declined to comment on whether any individuals from the Trump administration have been hired, leaving open the question of whether hires from the National Security Council worked under Trump or another president. Well, the thing is they could actually have worked under multiple presidents, but that's beside the point. You could have someone who worked for Baby Bush and Obama, because the National Security Council, like your pencil pusher bureaucrat types, they tend to stick there for a while. Schiff himself declined to confirm any new hires on Thursday, but said the Intelligence Committee had a long tradition of hiring out the intelligence community out of the National Security Council. Well, of course. And you know that he wants to get people from the Trump administration. You know that he does, because he's hoping that they'll be able to tell him where the bodies are buried, if there are any. And I don't think there are. And just I love this Schiff bullshit here, this next line. If the president is worried about hiring any former administration people, maybe he should work on being a better employer, Schiff said. Excuse me? That just goes to show what a petulant little shit he is, what a petulant fucking child. Trump has been commended for all the years that, he was a private citizen running his, business empire. He was commended for being the employer that he was. Now all of a sudden he's a shitty employer? Excuse me? The moves come as Schiff and other Democrats prepare to launch new probes into Trump, leading to concerns inside the White House that some career staffers opposed to Trump's policies may use the opportunity to damage him. Right, but the thing is the only way that they could damage him is if they lie. Because, with how the Democrats have been, Trump isn't stupid. He's not going to do stuff that would give them ammunition for shit, for anything. He's not about to do it. It makes no sense for him to risk it when he's got Democrats up his ass like he does. It just... And I love this. They can't even say the deep state. All right, but that's what they're basically alluding to here. There could be members of the deep state that have been there that don't like his policies, the bureaucrat, pencil pushing shitheads, and and they've already been the leakers and all that other stuff. So it wouldn't be a stretch for them to do that. You know, try to sell them down the river. Trump and his loyalists have long been skeptical of career officials inside the government, some of whom they claim are out to stymie his agenda. Skeptical? No. They have downright called them out for for being, for themselves and for the for the political agenda, the current political agenda, that's permeated government for as long as it has. The deep state, this is what I love it. Trump and his loyalists have been skeptical of career officials. Call them what they are, the fucking deep state inside the government, some of whom they claim are out to stymie his agenda. Because they are. They don't claim it. They've proven it. With all the leaks and everything else, it's been proven. Some officials have used the term deep state to refer to staffers burrowed in agencies and departments who they claim are actively working to block Trump's directives. See, I love how they have to wait towards the end to finally throw in the deep state. They don't want to use that word because they know it's true. It's a government within the government. It's like a shadow government of pencil-pushing bureaucrats. Those concerns seem to be heightened by a surge in congressional investigations launched after Democrats assumed control of the House. You mean when the Democrats barely managed to gain control of the House and decided to spurg out moment one, Trump looked at that and went, they're fucking nuts. As anyone else did, who has half a fucking brain. You're going to try saying because he did that and his staff did that and just the general public did that who wasn't a Trump deranged dipshit. You're going to say our concern, the concerns seem to be heightened by a No, it's like, oh my God, we got to watch these idiots spurg out. That's more appropriate, if you're going to say anything. A person familiar with the matter said former National Security Council staffers would not be out of the ordinary on the Intelligence Committee. Of course not. They work in that field. Well, a related field, it meets their qualification skills. At least 2 Democratic staffers working on Schiff staff also spent time at the National Security Council. And Rep. Devin Nunes, then Republican chairman of the committee, hired former National Security Council Middle East Director Derek Harvey in September after he was dismissed by then National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster. Yeah. So, basically, you got CNN trying to play this down, and they can't even admit, let me rephrase that. On one side, they're trying to play this down. On the other, they're trying to play it up because of, they think, they're trying to imply that these people that Schiff's going after, they have dirt on Trump, Russia. That's what they're actually trying to do here. Well, playing down other aspects of it, like the fact of the deep state, that should say a lot of what to their motivation and their intentions with this. This is ridiculous. It really is. They're trying to make it sound like this is like, Trump is pissed because, this is like gonna expose him. It's kind of what they're also implying here. Anyway, I think I've covered this well enough. You get the picture. I'm just gonna leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.